This is the matter of People versus Marcia Proctor. The file number is 23809 ST. Are you Marcia Proctor?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Proctor was charged under a complaint alleging reckless driving, assault and battery, alleged to have occurred way last February 27th of 23. It's alleged that she assaulted someone named Jade Klingler on Big Hill Road in February. The defendant pled not guilty to that. Ms. Hines was appointed as counsel. We went through some pretrials, final pretrials, and the defendant entered a plea to assault and battery. And the matter was set for sentencing this morning. I'm disappointed that we haven't got a prosecutor here, but sometimes they don't have enough people to go around. Good morning, Ms. Hines. What's your position here?
Your Honor, this was a road rage case. I think both parties are a little bit guilty here. Actually, the complaining witness actually approached my client, who did not get out of the car and then got out of the car. My client also called the police first to inform them as to what was going on. So, but she was honest with the officer. She did admit that she had smacked Jade Klingler. So she accepted responsibility. If the court remembers, she gave a very good factual basis. So she's living in Sturgis right now. And she has paid a $500 cash bond, which she has a receipt for. She said she didn't have it the last time, but she has it today. So we are just asking for fines and costs, Your Honor.
Ms. Proctor, is there anything you'd like to tell me?
No. Basically, it was just one of those days where two people probably shouldn't have made contact. I don't know. Like, it was just a bad day for.
Well,
both
there was a
parties, I
driving
suppose.
component of this. You,
I was turning on to Big Hill Road. I don't know if you're familiar with that
yes,
area.
we have a lot of things that
There is
seem
a
to
s-
happen on Big Hill
There is
Road.
a stretch where is a passing zone right when you turn onto that road. So I went to pass her.
What was your hurry?
Excuse me?
What was your hurry?
I don't know. They had just turned onto the road and I was already cruising along, I guess.
So they pulled
So
out. from
I
you.
went to, well, no, I had turned onto the same road as she
Okay.
did, but apparently she wasn't moving as fast enough. I don't know. But I went to pass her and she increased her speed to prevent me from getting over into the other lane. And so I increased my speed to try to get around. And then I had looked in my mirror, seen a clear spot, which was obviously my blind spot because when I got over, she hit the tail end of the vehicle. And then she had hit it 5 more times to the stop sign
Now,
on
again,
on the tail of my vehicle.
the police report sort of synthesizes your side and her side. There isn't anybody here to present her side. I don't know this lady. I know of her. I think she works at Revolution Health. I think she's a nurse. But I don't know that I've ever met her. And her version is that you passed in a no passing zone, flipped each other off.
Absolutely not.
Well, all right, maybe she says she flipped you off. I don't know. But at any rate, when you pull back in, you hit her car.
Right,
And
because I had looked I looked in my mirror.
people get dead
Did
doing that
not-
sort of thing.
Yeah,
then
people
she
get dead trying to prevent somebody from getting into the other lane as well.
Yes.
I am 100% in agreement to that was her fault.
Well, then
I mean,
and
she
again,
was
there's your
preventing-
version and her version, and I'm gonna put on my tombstone, the truth is somewhere in the middle. She says that you then slammed on your brakes and she ran into the back end of your car. You say she was ass ending your car. But then you both got out of the car and you smacked her upside the head.
I smacked her across her face.
Well, she had a bloody ear. So how is that a good solution to this? Go ahead.
I don't know where I made contact. I just know that I smacked her in the face. I don't believe that I hit her in the ear, but it's possible. Again, she was interfering with my driving and putting my life at, not only my life, but her life in jeopardy of, a very bad accident, because I, for a minute, thought that the vehicle I was driving was going to roll, and it scared the Jesus out of me. It really did. Like, I thought I was going over at one point, but thankfully I didn't.
There have been several really bad accidents at this, up and down this stretch between there and Lafayette. Yeah, and then you guys are cussing at each other and she says, I'll call the cops. And you said, I'll call the cops for you.
She had got out of, I had pulled along the side of the road and she tried to block my vehicle in at a diagonal form. And she got out of her vehicle saying, you dumb bitch, blah, blah, blah. And I just smacked her.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who was right or wrong or who were both wrong. But that wasn't the answer to the question.
I mean, I'm willing to take half of the fault for it because, I was involved, but she shouldn't have done what she did, trying to speed up and preventing me from getting over to the other lane. She was tampering with my driving.
Yeah, all right. So when someone does that, you get to slap in the face.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true, but when it's their fault and they get out cursing at you and calling you names, yeah, I have to say, sorry, but I don't feel bad for smacking her.
Well, and there weren't any witnesses to this. It was just you and her. And she's not here and I don't have any prosecutor input.
There was another vehicle, but I don't think that they were in front of me. So I don't think they were looking in their rearview mirror to, watch behind them at that point.
And I haven't been out there to look and see whether it was a no passing zone or not. Where were you going?
I was headed into town.
Well, you were headed northbound on Big Hill.
I was coming from Indiana to Sturgis.
And then what were we
Coming
gonna
up
do?
the back way around into town to that side of town.
Well, then you left before the cops got there. Did you call the cops?
Yes, sir.
But then you left before they got
I
there.
was already on the phone with dispatch when I was driving away from the scene, yes.
Because then they had a hard time figuring out, why did you leave?
Because honestly, I didn't want to have to smack her again. I felt that if I was that enraged and I smacked her, it was best I leave the situation.
Well, I guess I can't argue with that. They had a hard time figuring out who you were because this car isn't registered to you, and they did finally figure it out. There were some photos of the vehicle, which I didn't get. Now, you got a temper. You've been charged 3 times with resisting obstructing police officers.
Sir,
And your temper came out here. And as she indicates, I do have $500 of bond. We don't need road rage people smacking each other on the side of the street. Unfortunately, some of these have turned into guns.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to carry one of those, so we won't be having none of that.
Are you employed somewhere right now?
No,
Um,
just the streets.
where did you last work?
I haven't worked for several years.
And you live in LaGrange?
No,
They just sort of said you're,
it was a temporary, I was helping somebody out
so you're just kind of in between
in
here?
between limbo, yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, you got a valid license. Now, so are you living in Michigan now?
Oh, yeah, I'm back in Michigan.
Well, keep
for the
you have a
time.
Michigan license. If you move to Indiana, you gotta get an Indiana license. So keep your residence in Michigan.
Right,
And they dismissed the reckless charge, so this won't affect your driving record at all. Are you on probation or parole anywhere?
no, sir.
How long were you in jail before you bonded out?
I wasn't in jail. I actually was going to pick up my son that day and was backing out of a driveway, and another lady was backing out of the driveway across from me that I was completely unaware of. I had went to turn around in a hurry, got into a fender bender there, and then the cop was like, "Oh, well, you have a warrant for your arrest, so it's either $500 now or I take you to jail." So thankfully, I had someone with me who said, "Well, here's, and she happened to have money on her that day." Said, here's this, we're going back to the house.
So do I have to give that money back to someone else?
That I don't know. I haven't really discussed it with her.
Well, I'm assuming she wants her, let's see whose name the bond receipt is in.
The bond receipt's in my name.
All right, then that's between you and her.
Basically, I just need to know how much the fines and costs are and if there will be a remainder of this or if it will be.
Where does your son go to school?
In Sturgis.
But he doesn't live with you?
No.
Okay, I'm a little confused, but I don't need to go down there.
Yeah, it's been a rough few years with that, so.
I had some girls in Sturgis. Nice young girl named Alexa. And Alexandra, some girl said some stuff about her. So she went up to her in the Walmart parking lot and smacked her in the face. This is sort of akin to that, but she didn't have 3 prior R&O charges like you do. You got anger issues, to be sure, but I don't really want to put you on probation.
Might I say I was sober that time and all them other times I was under the influence of alcohol?
Well, there's no indication here. Of course, you left the scene, so they didn't catch up with you till later. I don't know whether you're sober or not.
I got pulled over in Sturgis, Michigan, or in Sturgis by 2 Sturgis cops. That same exact, I was on the phone with dispatch still and got pulled over by 2 Sturgis cops.
For what?
They said I was speeding.
That doesn't even show up anywhere. So I'll assume that you weren't, but all right. Cause this deputy goes on for 3 days to try to figure out who you are. Call LaGrange County Sheriff. They try to track this car down. So you get to pay $100, $75 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee, and a $150 attorney fee. That's $350. I got $500 of bond. It is in your name. You're also gonna do 2 days in jail, credit 0, leaving 2 days to serve. Do you wanna do it now or you wanna do it this weekend?
Um. hmm, I don't know, because I had a ride here today, so I'd have to let them know.
All right, we'll,
Um,
we'll let them know. You'll be out by Thanksgiving if you do it this way.
Well, it'd be the day after Thanksgiving if I did it on the weekend, correct?
Well, you could do it Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday.
Let's go with Saturday and Sunday.
Well, if you go in Saturday night, you get out Sunday night. Excuse me, Monday night. So we'll do Friday. Friday, November 24th. 7 p.m. Report to jail.